Welcome back to the channel, and in this video we'll be going over basically everything you need to know about jewel crafting, all the advanced things, mechanics, how to level it up or max it, and basically all the stats as well. So let's begin. The first thing I want to go over is the base stats of jewels. So currently when you make a jewel perfect, you can get 3 power from it at max. So this is a power jewel, a zircon, and I will be using it to make it a legendary jewel, the perfect jewel. As you can see here, it has 3 power. Then the same thing for, let's say, a diamond. I'm going to use one here, and diamonds give a defense, and the highest defense you can get is 31 per jewel. So you can get 3 power per jewel or 31 defense per jewel. Then we have jewel substats. So for example, we have attack speed, which is this one here, Tanzanite. This one gives attack speed, so we just use it here. There we go. We have 6 attack speed, and it's 6 for all of them, so it's 6 attack speed. Then you have 6 attack size, just like that. You have 6 attack size. And then I also have citrine. I don't have one max, but also it's going to be 6 as well for that. That's 6 intensity. And last but not least, there's also agility. You get 6 agility per gem. Here I have an agility gem here. You get 6 agility per gem, per jewel I mean. So you get 3 power from each jewel. You get 31 defense from each jewel. You get 6 attack size, 6 agility, and 6 attack speed, and 6 intensity from each jewel if you max them out completely. Then we have something else to talk about, which is jewel passives. And this is where it gets interesting. Basically, passives are the things that you get when you put a reagent with the jewel. So this item that I have in my inventory that I use to craft those jewels, it's called a copper shroom. If you look closely, it says that it can be used in jewel crafting to add in energy regeneration to a gem. What that means is this affects the amount of energy you regen. So let's say I use up a lot of my energy like now. If you look closely at my energy meter, as soon as I stop doing a spell, it immediately recharges, and it recharges quick. But when I hold shift, it does it extremely quick. So if I just use it up all the way completely, like let's just say I went from 0, okay, there we go. And just look at how fast you can fill it up. It took like 3-4 seconds to go from 0 to 600 energy, and this is with like full 10 energy jewels. And as you can see, it's like they all stack together, right? This is where it gets interesting. There's actually it's like a chance of you to get like a lot of percentage from it. So each reagent actually has a cap on the amount of percentage you get per jewel. Basically, you can see here, this one has 3% energy regeneration. That is, I think, the lowest that you can get. It might be 2.5, I'm not entirely sure, but that is one of the lowest ones. If you look at my sunken chestplate here, this one has a 5% energy regeneration, and it has 2 of them. So in total, my chestplate has 10%. Basically, for energy regeneration, the highest you can get with a tier 2 reagent, which is with copper shroom, which is the best reagent for it right now, is 5%. And there's like so many different reagents. There's one called air capacity, and this is that one. This one, so it lets you breathe underwater for longer. The highest you can get for that is 10% with the auric seaweed, if I show you correctly. This one right here, auric seaweed, it gives you air capacity. Then the next one you can get is knockback. There it is, attack knockback. This one again, I think it's 10% at best you can get, and this is like 6%, so like it's a really bad one. And you used something called aeroplast to make it, so it adds a lot of knockback to it. Then you have a destruction. Now I'm not entirely sure like what's the best reagent for destruction. Right now the best you can use is bones, like the one that I know. There we go. So Attack destruction is 4%, so that means it's 1 to 5% that the range. So you use bones to make it, and you get bones from like rotten fish and stuff, so it's pretty easy to get. But it's a tier 1 reagent, so a tier 2 would give 10%, and a tier 1 gives 1 to 5%, and tier 2 gives like 6 to 10% basically. Then we have swimming speed. Swimming speed is used from like using, I don't actually have it, but it may be also be like 10%, the max one, and you get it from using toxic seawater. I'll be going over how to get that in this video as well. I don't actually have one yet, so just bear in mind that. And last but not least, there's blocking power or blocking percentage. This one is interesting. So this one is actually nerfed down so that you can't like have 100% blocking percentage. So the best you can get is with metal scraps, or I think it's called iron scraps, and the best you can get is 1% from iron scraps. And there's another thing that you can get, which is a tier 2 version. Metal scrap is tier 1, so you can get like 1% only. There's something called a golden apple. I don't have one. It's very rare to get, and I'm not still sure on how many, like what the percentage is on it. It may be 5%, we're not entirely sure, but it's incredibly rare to get. So you can get a pretty decent amount of blocking power. There's also one for climbing speed. Yeah, this one. So 8%, you can get the highest is 10%, and it's by using a tier 2 reagent, and it's by using the luminous crystal. And you can find these at like underwater ruins. So that's basically all the stats, all the substats, all the jewel passives. Now I want to go over basically how much XP you need to fully max out jewel crafting. Just like here, I have it completely maxed out, and how many jewels and how many reagents you need to craft one. The first thing is you want to figure out how much like a reagent gives. A jewel, one jewel, let's just say we take one jewel. Let's say we take this aquamarine. You need a total of 100 jewels and 500 rare or exotic reagents to max out jewel crafting. Now the reason for that is because if you look at my jewel crafting XP right now, it's at 56,300. Just keep in mind the 300. If I make a jewel right now with a rare reagent, just like that, I used 5 rare reagents and 1 jewel to make this, I gained 500 XP. So it went from 300 to 800, so 800 minus 300 is 500 XP. So by doing that, you need a total of 100 gems and 500 reagents to get 50,000 XP. So the way you get that is 50,000 XP divided by 500 XP, and you get the amount of jewels, and then times that by 5, you get the amount of reagents you need. And that's basically on how you can max it. Common and uncommon reagents give 300 EXP each. It'll take you like 250 gems and like a lot. So 250 like times 5, you need like at least 1,250 reagents, common reagents, to max jewel crafting it. So you're better off just using 100 gems and 500 reagents to max out jewel crafting. So the next thing is the number of jewels that you can have equipped. I have right now 10 jewels equipped. All of them together, I am getting 30 power from each one, because this is all a full power set. So each jewel gives 3 power, and I have 10 of them, so 3 times 10 is 30 jewels. And another thing is that you cannot put jewels on amulets. As you can see, like normal hats have jewel slots, but amulets, they do not have jewel slots. And the number of jewel slots depend on if it's an uncommon, a rare, and its level. So basically, the amount of jewels on an item is just based on luck. Basically, common tier items have either a no jewel or 1 jewel with them. So if you look here, sometimes they can have 2 jewels, but it depends on the level as well. But basically, if you look here, the shoulder pads, they don't have any jewels, and they won't get any jewels anytime soon. Then you have this maid skirt. It has 1 jewel because it's like you get it at like level 50. Then you have the large capes. They have 2 jewels because you get them on like level 100. Based on the level and when you get it, you get the jewels. Like you get the number of jewels. You can upgrade them. I just tried upgrading them to get the jewels. You can't actually do that. So they have a fixed amount of jewels. And same thing goes for uncommons. They go from either having 1 or 2 jewels. Somehow the Vermilion Bracelet actually has only 1 jewel slot, so that sucks, I guess. But other things, for example, the Arcanium Arcsphere has 2 jewel slots, so that's pretty useful. And rare armor has always 2 jewel slots. And again, amulets can't have a jewel slot, so keep that in mind. And now I want to go over something interesting. The Arcanium Arcsphere can now have more power than a Power Amulet. It's just by 1, but the reason you want to use an Arcanium Arcsphere instead of a amulet is because you can get the passives like this one. It has 7% energy regeneration. You're just better off using a strong Arcanium Arcsphere with like the jewels, or if you want, you can also just switch it with like to get more power with like your like other like things, and you can have way more power than before. And now I want to go over basically the total amount of like stats and substats that you can get from jewels if you have 10 jewel slots. So for first one is, well, you can get 30 power, like I said before. You can get 30 power from 10 maxed power jewels. You can get 310 defense from 10 defense jewels. So each one gives 31 defense, and since you have 10 of them, you get 310 defense. The last one is for agility, intensity, attack speed, and attack size. You get 6 substats on all of them, so you can get a total 60 of each of them. So 60 agility, or 60 intensity, or 60 attack speed, or 60 attack size, just from 10 jewels. So now I'll be going over from where do you get the reagents from. For example, the copper mushroom, the auric seaweed, or the what do you call it, the luminous coral, and all of those, the tier 2 ones, because you know you don't need to get the tier 1 one because they're kind of useless. You just want to get the tier 2 one, right? So let's begin. So the first one we have is the auric seaweed. You find it at like the underwater ruins, and if I'm not being chased by sharks, it's this one right here, auric seaweed. Then the next one you can get is luminous coral, and it is this little like glowing crystal basically. It's like a crystal, it's a coral actually, and you can get a lot of them pretty quickly if you do like a lot of underwater ruins. So that's the best way to farm them, is underwater ruins. Then the next one is copper shrooms, and the best way to farm them is actually on the top of jaws. If you can't really see well, but basically they literally spawn all over the top of the jaws, and if you have a good amount of like air stalling ability, you can get them pretty easily, just like this. Then you're gonna have to climb on top of like the thing. There we go. And like it can either farm from 0 to even like 9 of them or 10 of them on just one, like on one hilltop. You can see there's a few more there. If you can use like a tier 3 revealing potion to see them very clearly. That's what I did to farm them, and it worked pretty well. Like to farm them, it's pretty fun to farm them because like it's kind of like parkour, I guess. And they actually do spawn on the top of the stepstones, so if you want to farm like that way as well, you can. So basically they spawn at like this place right here, the tree on top of stepstones. Then the next one I want to talk about is Aeroplast, that I just picked on right there. This can be found all over the Sky Islands, and they're like little air things, like it's like a puff of air. And as you can see, you can find copper shrooms here as well. And for Aeroplast, if you want to farm them, you should go to like Skycliff, or like around Ceres Island, or like the other islands as well. They pretty much spawn on top of the sky, only like this one here. That's a cloud root. Basically they like, you know, they have like little how do you say, smoke clouds, I guess, on them, and they give a knockback percentage basically. Then this one, the toxic seawater, you get it from bottling up dark sea water, and it's a bit dangerous, and I don't know, I think I might die trying to get it, but this gives you a swimming speed. Quick. I only got 4, but as you can see, it's a glass bottle of toxic seawater, and this is supposed to give you swimming speed. Yep, swimming speed effective gem, and this is a tier 1 because it's uncommon. So yeah, then here's the last two. You can get golden apples or scrap metal. Scrap metal you get it from like opening chests and such, and golden apples you get it from opening like rare ingredient bags or finding it below trees. It is extremely rare. I don't even have one right now on me, but basically that gives you blocking percentage, and same thing with metal scraps, they give you a blocking percentage. And then we have bones. Bones basically give you what do you call it, destruction. Destruction is basically based on like how much damage you do to terrain. It doesn't give you bigger AoE or anything. If you expect that, it doesn't give you bigger AoE at all. It's basically the amount of damage you do with your skills and like your basically like your tools and such. So if you want to do a lot more damage to your terrain, you can get that. And you get bones from rotten fish, so you can just catch a lot of fish and let it rot, and this is what bones look like, just like that, and it gives attack destruction effect to a gem. And last but not least, if you want to farm gems, what you should do is either do treasure charts, specifically more rarer ones like the rare, exotic, and legendary treasure charts. They give you a lot of gems if you do them. Or you can farm bronze sealed chests. That also gives you like a 20% chance of getting a gem per chest, and they're pretty quick to farm. I personally farmed them with my clan themselves. We farmed like probably like 30 to 40 like each run, and we did like multiple times, and with that we were able to get like 100 gems plus a surplus amount more to like max out jewel crafting. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this video has helped you, and go get that perfect jewel crafting. So leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you want to. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.